Warning, this videotape is protected under domestic copyright laws and is licensed for private use only. Stephen's Magic Emporium will pay a reward to anyone providing information leading to the arrest and conviction of persons involved in unauthorized duplication of this videotape.
Hi, I'm Amy Stevens. Welcome to our teach-in session on the egg bag. Inside this little black pouch are endless possibilities. If you don't believe it, watch how 5 master magicians make the vanish of this little egg as powerful as the vanish of an elephant. Now you too can make this effect highly entertaining and full of mystery. Here now are the performances and explanations of Martin Lewis, Tom Mullica, Billy McComb, Johnny Thompson, and Charlie Miller.
I'd like to show you a little mystery utilizing a little cloth bag. Now I have it around here, so here it is. So this is a very unusual cloth bag in as much as the inside of the bag is exactly the same as the outside. Of course, it's on a different side. And using this bag, I'd like to show you a little magic trick. Now we need one other thing to go along with this, and that comes in the form of an egg, and I think there should be one just right about here. Now, here, would you like to take a look at that? It's not real, don't worry. It's a plastic egg, and while you're there, you could bring it up for me. Thank you. You're so quick, and maybe come across this side, Amy. And, to tell everybody in the audience that is a solid egg. It's not made out of plastic or anything.
Not plastic.
Okay, now here's my little trick. We have a little bag, a little egg. My trick is to make the egg disappear, and hopefully you won't know where it goes. Now, let me take the egg here. Watch the egg. It goes inside the bag. Now, first of all, can you feel it right just there on the palm of my hand? You can? Now, my trick, as I say, is to make it disappear, and you won't know where it goes. All I have to do is wave my fingers, snap my foot, say the magic words, abracadabra, and the egg is now absolutely gone from the bag. Now, there are people that think they know where this egg goes. Would those folks please raise your hands?
Oh.
I don't see any hands going up. Let's see if we can't get the egg back. First of all, reach inside the bag, grab the bottom, pull it inside out. Did you feel anything while you was in there?
No.
Let's take a look. Do you see anything inside there?
No.
No? To get the egg back inside the bag, all I have to do, as I said, is wave my fingers, snap my fingers, stamp my foot, say the magic words, and the egg comes back inside the bag. Now, I'm going to tell you how this is done because, hey, that's the kind of guy I am. You see, what happens is, when I put the egg in the bag, first of all, you let somebody feel it resting on the palm of my hand there. Now, when I actually take it out, and I go like this, and people think it's under my arm, but it's not. I drop it in my pocket. Well, they're busy looking underneath my arm, so I can show it's not in my hands and it's not underneath my arm. And of course, you can show that it's not inside the bag. And bow to your no doubt thunderous applause. Now you have to get the egg back. So the first thing you do is you have somebody reach inside, grab the bottom, pull it inside out. Did you feel anything in there? No. Take a look. Do you see anything in there?
No.
No? Now to get the egg back in the bag, first of all, you wait till nobody's looking. And you reach in your pocket and of course, in a situation like this, when people are looking, then you have to resort to magic. With your left hand, would you just hang onto the bag right just there? That's fine. With your right hand, wave your fingers. Say the magic words, abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
Reach in the bag. Take out the egg. Hold it up high. Take a little bow.
That's very
That's
good.
the egg bag. Please give Amy a hand for helping me out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk for a few moments about the egg bag. Now, the routine you saw is a very basic routine that I've used in my cruise ship performances, and it's just very quick and short, and that's the way I like it. But there's a lot more that can be done with it, and I'll show you a few more things. But first of all, let's talk about egg bags. Now, this at the moment is the blue-eyed boy of egg bags. It's the Mellini bag, and I'm sure that you'll run into these somewhere along the line. The Mellini bag has a pocket in the very corner, and it's a black, small bag that fits comfortably on the hand. Now, this is an excellent egg bag. It's absolutely a wonderful routine. There's wonderful routines for it, and it's a delightful thing to work with. I offer the Mardo egg bag as an alternative only, so that you can have a choice. What I like about this bag, first of all, is I like the bright tartan color, which shows up nicely against the tuxedo and makes it very visible to see. And also, I like the fact that the pocket is invisible even under the closest scrutiny. In fact, you're looking at the pocket right now. You can actually, it's right there in front of everybody's eyes, and you don't see it. Now, I like this a lot. I'll show you exactly where it is so you can have a look. The pocket is right here. It's about halfway down on one side, and it goes in all the way to the bottom. The pocket also is on the outside of the bag. You can see the bag is the right way around because it's nice and flat. When the bag is inside out, because of the thickness of the material, it forms more of a bag shape. So, and this is just exactly what we want. Now, the bag can be handled just like an ordinary egg bag. When you've got it turned inside out, the pocket is on the inside, and on my version, my mother made this, by the way, and she does a beautiful job. I asked her to put the seam on the binding around the top directly over where the pocket is, so that you can always find it in an instant if you're stuck or it gets turned around. The egg goes out into the bag and rests on your palm. What you do is simply pull that pocket open and push it in the pocket. So it's now sitting inside the pocket and resting on your hand. So when you make the action of taking it out, it actually stays in the pocket, and you can do the under the arms or in the pocket or whatever your routine calls for. Then you turn it inside out to show it's gone. The pocket is now on the outside, and it's back here, away from the audience. Holding the egg in my fingers, I ask the spectator to reach in the bag and grab the bottom and pull it inside out, which they do, and they feel nothing in there. Again, by holding the egg where my hand isn't holding it this way, they can look inside and they see nothing in there. Then finally, by just releasing it, the egg will drop down into the bottom of the bag. There's no need to shake or do anything. It will go automatically. And then you can very simply reach in and produce the egg from the bag. The other moves that can be done with this type of bag, for example, now, is you take the egg and you can place it against the side of the bag on the outside, fold this corner over to hide the egg in there, give it a little tug, and it disappears and appears underneath your arm. Now, I'll do that for you again. So you place it on the bag, fold it in, give it a little tug, and this time it disappears completely. See, so that's another nice little move you can do, and then, of course, you can reproduce it from the bag. That's done this way. Now, this maneuver is well described in The Magic of Ross Bertram, which is a book by Ross Bertram, and he has a wonderful routine with this bag as well. In case you'd like to look that up, you may want to get some more information. The egg is placed against the bag and held there by pinching it between the forefinger and thumb. This is clipped between the first and second finger, so the hand brings this corner to cover the egg, and at the same time, if you squeeze, the egg will squeeze right down into the palm of the hand this way, as you apparently fold this over. You can now give the corner a little tug, show that it's gone, and produce the egg from your elbow or wherever, and turn the bag around. See, I wasn't using the pocket side that time. Now the pocket's towards me, and once again, I apparently do the same thing, but in actual fact, I open the pocket, put the egg in, and fold the corner over again. Now, once again, turn it around, so the egg is now in the back. You can show the egg is completely gone, and then by turning the bag inside out, you now have the egg in a position to reproduce from the bag any way you like. The final point when it's being used as an egg bag that I like very much is because the pocket is midway up, about halfway down from the top, is this. When the egg is finally produced, you'll notice that I asked the young lady to hold the bag and to reach in. Well, she held with her left hand and reached in with her right hand. If you have a Malini bag and the person's a little bit suspicious of you, they may fiddle around in that bottom of the bag trying to feel for something. But they won't feel anything with this because the pocket is directly against the back of their hand. And for them to go like this would be very awkward. So they can scrabble around in there and pull that egg out and they won't feel the pocket, which is a nice little thing, I think of. Now, that's the egg bag part of it. The bag also serves double duty if you travel a lot. It's very handy to having. You could use it as a watch bag, for example, by putting pieces of a broken watch in here, and then as you drop the watch in the bag, let those pieces drop from the outside as if there's a hole in the bottom, and then reach in. Let's say this is the borrowed watch. You drop it in the bag and let the pieces drop from through this pocket, and you go, oh, there must be a hole. Palm the watch as you apparently turn the thing inside out, which gives you a chance to pop the watch into the pocket again as you say, well, and then pass that off to have it loaded into a nest of boxes or whatever you wish to do. It also can be used for card magic if you wish. You could, for example, excuse me, should have had a pack of cards with me for this, but you could have somebody select a card and bring it to the top of the pack, and apparently wrap the having a duplicate card inside this pocket, which fits in very nicely, and then force a card, put the pack inside the bag, fold it up inside the bag, and then by simply pushing with your thumb, you can push that card and apparently have it penetrate through the folds of the cloth and do something along those lines. So it's quite versatile, does quite a number of things, and it also is very handy for polishing the props when you're not using it as an egg bag. Now, there's one other thing that I haven't mentioned to you yet, and that is, of course, the production of the egg at the very beginning, which is one of my favorite things, so I've kept the best till the last. The egg is in the pocket to begin with when you produce it, when you show the bag, when you bring the bag out. So you bring the bag out, you can show it inside and out as you would normally. Leaving the pocket on the outside, I'm going to turn it around so you can see. Make sure the egg is along the pocket side. It can tip down here, which is very handy if you want to turn the bag this way, but make sure it's down on this side. Now that's towards me, and I'll fold one side over, so by simply squeezing with my fingers, you can see it squeezes the egg out the pocket, and then by continuing on, it squeezes it up and out the top. And from the front, it looks like this, as if you produce the egg from the end of the bag. So that's a nice way to produce the egg to begin the routine. Then, of course, you toss it out and off you go with your favorite routine. So there you go. That's all there is to the Mardo egg bag.
Oh boy, I've got things back here that would surprise you. Here's one. Put that song on, Don't Chop the Wood, Ma. Pa's coming home with a load. A room, a room. Just reach in there and turn it inside out. Just pull it inside out. Thank you. Thank you. Do you feel that right there? Feel it? Just reach in there and pull it inside out. You didn't have to remember anything, did you? No, it's not. It's not funny now. Do you see anything in there?
Nothing.
Not yet. Do you see anything in there now?
Nothing.
Not yet. Thank you. This is going to be
Now, the
really-
egg bag routine that you do is based on Ken Brook and Charlie Miller and Jay Marshall and Pete Byro and a whole
It's a
bunch of
hodgepodge.
other people. But the load at the end is really nicely done. How do you do that load?
The load is the important part because it's the end of the trick. I'm using two bags is what fools a lot of magicians. Behind the bar on a servant, I have the bottle of beer opened and a duplicate bag over the bottle. So that's setting on my servant. When I finish the routine, I don't need that one, but I do need, well, I don't know where it is, but you take the egg for the last time is going to be pulled out of the bag and displayed. Well, while I'm getting the egg, I grip these two corners, and the reason I do that is it makes the bottom of the bag more of a round opening, because what I'm going to be doing is going down over that glass on my servant to pick it up. The glass and the bottle are sitting next to each other. So you can basically do any egg bag routine, and this is really, the ending is what I'm showing you. Once you get to the end where this last egg is pulled out and displayed, this hand goes straight down, goes over the glass, picks it up, the egg goes in the pocket, and then I come up this way to produce the glass. Originally, when I did this, I tried to keep this in this position so when I displayed the glass, I would have to go down and do to the bottle what I did with the glass. But it was hard for me to look at it, and I didn't want to throw off that I had something I was going for. I wanted to do it without looking, so I thought, oh, another bag. So once the glass is shown, this hand goes down, and I drop it on the floor and just grab this whole thing. It's easy to find. And then I come up and here. But the two bags is what gives it the illusion of how could he have, you know, it's just too much of an illusion. It's too good. I shouldn't have done that.
There's one last stunt I'd like to show you, and it's done with a little bag. Now, this little bag is completely empty, and to prove it's empty, I will beat the shape out of the little bag like that. See, there's nothing inside, right? Then we screw it up on a ball, if you'll pardon the expression. You see, there's nothing inside, and then we'll turn the inside outside, so the outside is now inside. Isn't magic wonderful? Nothing in... Oh, God, that's painful. I'm going to go down to you and say, put your hand inside and feel the bottom in the nicest sense of the word. Gosh, you almost got me. Did you see that? Right. Nothing inside. Right, we're going to try to do this very quickly. There's an empty hand. Nothing comes down my sleeve. Inside here, you'll never believe it. We beat the hell out of the bag, but inside a little glass filled to the very brim with whiskey, and there's no cover on it whatever. Thank you. Thank you. Here we go for the pause that refreshes. This is the... I'd kill that bloody cat. Right. Hold it up nice and high, my dear. Don't let it drip down your arm. It's a nasty psychological feeling. Right, like that. Roundabout now, everyone in this vast converted aircraft hangar thinks that is one of those funny little glasses that you buy with a cover over the top, and the liquid, when you turn it upside down, doesn't fall out. Take the forefinger of the other hand, wiggle it inside the liquid, let everyone see it's free and open to the air, right? Look at the nail of that forefinger, completely burnt off. That'll teach you to fool around in the magic air. Now, I want you to approach over here, hold it up really high. Gosh, you scared me. My watch has stopped. I thought you dropped dead. Right. We come now to the big novelty of the night. I'm going to let you put it in yourself. You put that up inside here, up in the northwest corner, but beware, because the mounted police get very funny at this time of the year. Right up inside it. Don't suddenly turn upside down and go, nya-ha-ha, otherwise we have a water ballet. And it's no time of the night to look for Esther Williams. Esther Williams? Ah, they forget so soon. My world-famous impersonation of Esther Williams. Are you ready? Ah, hell, back to the magic again. I'm going to hold that through the fabric of the bag. When I count 1, 2, 3, you take your hand out, leaving behind the little glass of food, of whiskey. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, take your hand out. Let everyone see your hand, lest they think you're a Confederate. Now sit down. I know you're not a Confederate. Otherwise, you would have a different flag and you would talk funny, right? I thought that. Right. Wave the hand over the top like that. Oh, I'm going into a trance. Wake up, you fool. Oh, yes. Oh, vanish. Gone. Wow. That's it. Now, thank you very much, but we are allowed on all these tapes as a special concession. By Joe, we're allowed to explain one trick. This is the trick that I have decided to explain, and you can get it, of course, from the shop. Otherwise, I wouldn't be allowed to explain it. Yeah. The hands are empty, but I palm the little glass into my pocket whilst you are not watching. I suddenly I say something like, oh, is that a whale? You know? Or, Halley's Comet. Only comes here every 76 years. Do you think it knows something? My God, it's like an Amtrak schedule. Okay, 2 empty hands, but I palmed into one of my pockets, and down deep in this pocket, stop that, you go blind, have it for me. Oh, not that pocket anyhow. Yep, there's the hand. Deep down inside this pocket. Plums. When did I buy plums? Oh, yes, that'd be right. Watch the hand when it comes out of the pocket, because in this hand we've got the little glass is filled to the brim with the booze. That's it. Your very good health. Bless you. That's it. Thank you so much. Just to remind them.
Everybody does the egg bag, you know, but you wanted to do it differently.
Well,
Not
what
many people
happened
do it
was,
with whiskey.
Well, yeah, it's actually not even whiskey. It's what we call gravy browning in England. We use cold tea. Don't use a carbonated thing. Don't use a thing like Coca-Cola, because that'll pop the cover off the top. These are 2 little glasses. George Covari made them for me. He does some good work in plastic. And all I've taken is 2, again, the Ireland golf balls. They've got plenty of squeegee in them. And I have taken the paint off. It's essential to take the paint off, because remember, that holds in by virtue of the rubber. But if you leave the paint on, you can't screw it in like that. And that's the way you do it. You screw it in. If you just do it like that and push it in, it won't work, because the displacement of the liquid isn't enough. But if you put it in and then screw it like that, that makes the difference. So you fill that up with cold tea, put that on the top, screw it like that, and that holds it in. Now, this second one is in my pocket, and that's screwed in too. Now, the funny thing is, I've been with people in a nightclub, sitting drinking with them all evening, stood up, and I've gone down the act. At the end of the act, when I've walked up and down, sat and everything, this has come out of my pocket, and they think, how the hell did he walk around with a glass of whiskey in his pocket all that time? So the people at that table are even more amazed than the people in the nightclub. So that's in your pocket there like that. And I just stand up and show you that it goes into this pocket, and it sits in there. Take care that you're not doing a trick where you have silks and things going into your pocket, because when you go for that, then you've got a silk on top of it, and it's a hell of a job to get it out. This is just an ordinary egg bag, except this is rather beautifully made. It was made by a friend of Ted Leslie in Berlin. Real super guy, and a first-class magician too. And I'm happy to say that I started him on the road. This is an egg bag, and inside there, let me just point from there to there, inside, there is
A big pocket.
a big pocket, a
big
hell of a
pocket.
big pocket with big rounded corners that I can feel, okay? And inside that, this is reposing. So this is on the table. Let me get that flattened out. That's on the table with that inside, and it's in the corner like that. And the golf ball is pointing there. So now that's like that, and it's folded. So now, when I pick it up, I can go straight inside there, and I've now got the whole thing in my hand like there. If that was transparent, you could see through it. If I make a mark around that, you see that that's there like that, like so, down the bottom. Now, I hold it and beat the hell out of it, all that. I can now turn inside out, and again, it's here at the back. It's just down inside there. See, inside there, like that, in there. And I can hit that there and bang it, but I'm not hitting the glass. Watch you don't do what I did one night, where I hit in such a way at an angle, I knocked the ball out of the glass, because that gets to be very messy, and rather it wrecks up the trick. Then you come back like that, and you say to a woman, put your hand inside and feel the bottom, and you're shaking this to make it absolutely straight. When she puts her hand inside, as soon as she's done that and you walk away from her, watch, because you see the bag vibrate as I drop the glass down in, see? That's the glass going down into the corner. Now I put my hand inside, grab the glass, bring it up to the top corner like that, and then I pull off the cover. Now as I pull off the cover, I just ease it off like that. And I hold that up here in the top corner. So I now, that's there, held, and out comes the glass with the whiskey in it. Now, there's the ball. Let me press around it. See the ball's there, like that. So it's being held like that. If I'm holding it like that, it looks like I'm holding something. So I just hold it very lightly there, so that you see there isn't any. Then I go through all the flim-flam, one putting a finger in, all that sort of stuff. And when she puts that up inside, I follow her hand with my hand. And underneath, this hand holds, her hand's usually like there. I make her hold it there so that everyone can see it. My hand's there like that. So I'm on top of her, and when the other hand pushes that in and does like that, she can't feel it because her hand's down here. So as far as she's concerned, she's holding a glass of whiskey with the top open. So then it's surprising to her too, because that's one extra person who's going to clap. So when that's there, you say, I will hold it through the fabric of the bag, and you do that. Now this time you really hold it. You don't do any of this prissy stuff. You really hold it. You say, take your hand out, show your hand, lest anyone thinks you're Confederate. Now at that point, I want to get attention onto her, because I'm taking that whiskey bag down, and I'm dropping it straight in to the pocket down here. And I say, I know you're not a Confederate. Various gags, like, you know, if you're Confederate, you would talk funny and have a different flag. If you're in America, if you're in Britain, you can make up your own jokes, right? That hand goes in there like that. Now I'm grabbing the glass here, see? Now I'm in exactly the same situation as I was at the start. I'm grabbing the glass there, and I beat the hell out of it like that. And then I like to take it and fold it up like this, like so, and fold up like that, so. Now, although there's the bulge at the back there, see that bulge there at the back?
It's not
That's
seen.
not seen from the front, because that looks like I folded the thing very neatly. And you can throw it off stage, because if you throw it off stage, if you get somebody to catch it, or if you throw it onto something soft, it will fall, and the glass being lucite, being plastic, it doesn't hurt too much. Just make sure it doesn't fall with a clunk like that onto a hard thing off stage, otherwise they think, hello, why was that? So that's off, and you can throw it like so. Then there's the business about the hunt for the glass, and you do this sort of thing, and like that, and feel around in your pocket, and finally go in. Sometimes I lift the pocket flap up so that they can really see the pocket. All you've got to do in your pocket is, there's that other one, and hello, another card trick. You just pop that off like that, and then leave that behind in your pocket. Take care that as you take your hand out of your pocket, it doesn't roll out the ball too. So that comes out of your pocket like that, short, and then to let them see that it really is liquid, I do that. I used to use naphtha, and then I used a mixture of ether. But the idea was that whenever I threw the liquid up in the air like that, I wanted not to hit the ground, because it actually evaporated before it hit the ground. And if you have a dance act following you, or a line of girls, as sometimes you have in cabaret, they can go in the rear if there's liquid on the floor. Liquid on the floor, cards on the floor, particularly confetti on the floor. If you're working with a following act, dancing, or any other act that does movement, be careful, because if they slide on that, they will be off, and they'll have you around the throat up against the wall if you're not very, very careful.
It's a wonderful routine.
It's a wonderful way of earning a living.
Charlie, you know, both of us have had quite a reputation with the egg bag, and I thank you for mine because without you I couldn't have it. But I think everyone would be interested in the egg bag, and I'd like you to tell us some of the history and some of the things you've done with it, about Max Mullaney and the bag, and maybe we can discuss some of the moves and the way to handle it.
Well, here's what I saw him do. I saw him the first time, I saw him do 6 or 7 shows, and I never knew quite how he did it. I manufactured a bag, and then one day he showed it to me, and as you know, it's made out of black material. It can be any color, but that makes it difficult. This is the material a bag you made.
Yes, that's actually black silk crepe. They don't manufacture the silk crepe anymore.
That's the best material I've. Is this very high to buy?
Very hard to get. It runs about $50 a yard to $60 a yard when you can get it now. But there are now some polyester cloths that will work just as well. But you have to search. They're more silk-like. You have to get a silk crepe
here's
feel.
The thing on this. I saw him do this, and he always used a black bag, and it would never have any trouble. And I was completely puzzled when I saw the bag. He says, Charlie, he says, you could get a tailor to make one. Or not a tailor, get a dressmaker to make one, something. And he did something. Apparently he had them made with a double side, and he didn't have this end, which you put in. He didn't have inside stitch.
That's the only thing I ever added was the curved
he had a
corners.
seam like
yes.
this, like this. Roughly around. And then apparently he had taken a pair of scissors and cut this across here.
I guess for everyone's benefit, this is a diagonal pocket, if you can get in good and close with this. And I'll show you, try and put my finger along so you can see it actually, but the pocket is diagonal. Consequently, and it's covered by the thumb. And you know something that most people don't know, Charles, I discovered, and we never discussed it, but everyone tries to cover that perfectly like so when they show the bag, which is correct, but you don't have to. They always try to get a small pocket if they have a small thumb, but that's not necessary. All you have to do is actually touch it at this corner, and your fingers here will press the bag into your hand. You don't have to worry about sizing it so much.
Right.
It's better to be large, I found, than small. Everyone has these very small pockets because they have small thumbs.
Well, originally the trick was made for small eggs.
Yes.
I used not pullet, but bantam.
Very hard to get these days, so I cover it like that, and I just use my fingers to snap it in position.
And he did that practically himself, just like this.
Yes.
And the funny part was he used didn't worry about handling it. He wasn't, I thought, particularly...
Well, I think it's the careless way you handle the bag. I've seen some performers who handle it very, very clinically, you know.
And he did do this. When he turned it wrong side out, he just sometimes would, that's all he did, say the inside and the outside.
Well, I'll tell you what I've discovered. You mean about hiding the bag from the bad angle. What Charlie's explaining is, let me get the pocket out of here, is when you turn this bag right side out, like so, you're liable to flash that pocket, as you can see. So what I've always done is this, Charles. All right, the pocket is here. When I turn it right side out, I always make sure that the pocket goes down towards the floor. You see it
that you can
this
do,
way.
But he didn't bother with it.
Yeah, and then I can grab it and cover it and position it.
Now, his routine was very simple. He simply told the story that I told about my father's tobacco pouch. I got that from him. I changed it a little bit. I don't know exactly
Well, I do it from time to time myself.
But he would take the egg, and he picked it up off a plate of raw eggs because he later uses the raw eggs in another...
Charlie, can I interrupt? Yeah. I remember when you did this at the castle, and I don't know if it was your idea or if it was Max, but you did a spinning thing that got you into Scientific American, as a matter of fact.
That's right. I say this is, you know, everybody here that's experienced with boiled eggs knows that a boiled egg always spins this way on the end. And if they're uncooked,
they spin this way,
They spin like this.
Horizontally,
but I, being a magician, when I get up in the morning, I don't bother about using the stove. I just give it a spin like this, and I say boil, and the thing boil.
Oh, that's wonderful. I know you did get written up by that.
And that's a simple thing. You just give it enough spin, and up it'll go.
That's amazing. Let's
And,
get back to the
all
bag
right, thank
quickly,
you very much.
Charles, and then we'll give them a demonstration of both of you and I doing it. I think it's important, let me go over one
right.
thing, to handle just the way the vanish is. I'm going to stand myself for a moment so we can see this a little better. But the big mistake most people make with this particular thing is they take the egg and they place it into the bag, you see. And that looks artificial. The best way to do this is always to make sure they see the egg fall in the bag. Then there's no problem at all. The other thing with regard to handling the bag, I think the vanishment is very simple with this bag. It's just a mere turnover. Now, there are a lot of ways. I do this particular thing you taught me, and I know you said Max did this. And, of course, the egg is only here behind your hands. I'll do this like so. It folds, first of all, to the front, then to the back. And this is right out of the instructions you wrote for Magic Ink, you see. Yes. And, of course, turning this, it's all how carefully and carelessly you do it. I say carefully and careless. You have to be careful of your angles, but you must handle it as if there's nothing in there, you see. The egg is always hanging at the back. And the wonderful thing is when you reach right in because of that slit, it's absolutely visibly inside the bag, and they also can grab it instantly.
That's the remarkable part is you reach right in.
Right in, and there's no reaching or fooling around for it. You're absolutely right. Why don't we give them a practical demonstration, Charlie, by showing them, you and I both doing the routine. It may be because we do it so similarly, we'll do it together.
I'd like to present at this time the mystery of the egg in the bag. Don't look at me, lady. This is the egg over here in my hand. This is a little bag that I had made some years ago. When I first saw this trick, I saw it done in a local theater. Cheap vaudeville house. I was about 10 years old. The magician came out and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I shall attempt to completely mystify you with this egg in this bag." And he pretended to place the egg in the bag. I use the word pretend because he didn't. He actually kept it concealed in the palm of his hand like this. Of course, he turned his hand this way so you wouldn't see it, but I keep it this way. Then he grasped the bag like this. He and then stood this way. I thought he had a pain in his side, but that's what he thought was natural. Tossed the bag into the air, whereupon it appeared that the bag was perfectly empty. Then he did something rather clever. He placed this across his hand, would reach inside, show this side of the bag, keep the egg inside like I'm doing now, and then he would take it this way. And then finally he would show this hand empty, drop the egg inside, show this hand empty, reach in and produce the egg. It wasn't much of a trick. Of course, the audience that he had before him was not the intelligent and observing audience that I have before me now. A little later, I saw another magician. He was a French magician, came out something like this. Mesdames et messieurs, avec votre permission, je vais vous présenter quelques expériments dans l'art de la prestidigitation. That means, ladies and gentlemen, your kind attention, I'll do a few tricks in sleight of hand. Voici un œuf. That means here is an egg. Je mets l'œuf dans le sac d'une manière que vous voyez qu'il n'y a pas de tromperie. I put the egg in the bag in a manner not to deceive you. Don't you ever believe it. He took it out like this. With the bag held in front of him, he sneaked it under the edge of his waistcoat or vest, cummerbund, like this. Of course, he had to stand this way to prevent it from falling out, but it looked all right because he was a very, very old man. Then he would show the bag empty inside and out, which he could do all day long if it didn't move. Finally, he did move. That's when he squeezed the egg from beneath the bag like this. And then taking it this way, he covered the hand. Really, it was behind, like this, but he covered it this way. Then he transferred the bag, opened it with his fingers, and this time as he dropped the egg inside, he stood this way, showed both hands to be absolutely empty, said, "Mesdames et messieurs, voici l'œuf." Well, he fooled a few other people. I went home, took my father's tobacco pouch, emptied the tobacco out, and took an egg from the ice box in those days and attempted to do the trick. My father discovered his tobacco pouch empty and thought I took it, threatened to reprimand me, but when he saw what I was trying to do, he gave me 10 cents a week allowance. And now I should like to do the trick as it was presented and shown to be by the late Max Malini. I'd like to have a couple of young ladies to help me. Would you mind coming up, please? Just bring your feet along and you'll find you're up here. Thank you. This is an egg. Notice anything unusual about the egg? You may hold it, but don't drop it. Has a hole in one end. Well, what I did, make a hole with a little needle. I got inside, climbed through here, then pushed out all the contents, and then crept out of this little hole. And that's how it's empty. Houdini was after me for years about this. but I wouldn't tell him. Now, this is the little bag. Isn't that beautiful? The seamstress who made this, realizing she could never duplicate such fabulous workmanship, committed suicide. Macabre tale I know of, but of great interest to historians of Magicana. The inside, the outside. Now, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. Watch me very carefully. I place the bag in front of me and the egg inside of the bag. Look, there's the egg right there. I'll move it over here, right in the middle. You see the egg? Now, would you hold out your hand, please? Thank you. And we take the egg like that, and just like a ghost vanishes into the walls of an ancient castle, so vanishes this egg into nothingness. I show you the inside, the outside, the seam in the center. Isn't that magnificent? Have you ever seen anything? You may drop your hand to your side, please. Thank you. Look, I do this. This is a subliminal cue again for applause. Now, I don't want you to take my word for it. Put your hand inside the bag. Turn it wrong side out if you care to, and she does. Thank you. The inside, again, this is to wake up any people who have fallen asleep. Always do that in the act. And again, the inside, the outside. Would you like to reach inside? Thank you. It's absolutely empty. Now, would you do me a favor, please? Hold this wrist with your right hand. Thank you. Don't let go. And would you hold this wrist? Thank you. Don't let go, but do this. Isn't this fun? Thank you. Now take your free hand, put it inside the bag. Anything down there? No. Run your hand free. Show it empty to the audience. That's right. Yes. Thank you. Anything there? No. Now look at me straight in the eyes. Look at me straight in the eyes. Thank you. Put your hand back into the bag. Take out what you find. Isn't that the damnedest thing you ever saw? Now I'll do it again. Hang on to the wrist, please. We'll only be here a couple of days. Drop the egg back inside the bag. Now look, it's very simple. All I do, look, there's the egg right there. See, you can feel it, but don't pat it. There, thank you. Now, I say go. Again, it vanishes. This time, put your hand inside, grasp the bottom, turn it wrong side out if you care to. And she does. That's the inside, the out. Don't let go of the wrist, please. Inside, the outside, the seam in the center. Outside, inside, and inside, outside. Now this time, I want you put your hand inside the bag. Anything there? No. Completely empty? Empty. It's completely empty. You're sure about this? This is the bottom of the bag. Now this time I'd like to have you help me in another way. Look, you may let go. You may let go, but I remain in front of you. Now I'd like to have you do something. I want you to hold the bag. This is the bottom. You can feel the bottom if you care to. And this is the top. Let go, please. You can hold the top like this if you want to. If you want to, and she does. Thank you. Now, would you hold the bag in this manner? Fingers inside. That's right. Thumbs against that. And not too taut there. You know what that is. Thank you. Now, once you, as I step back this way, I want you to look inside the bag, see if there's anything there. Just look inside. Look all right? Would you like to look over and see inside? I stand this way so not to get out of the picture. Thank you. Now, do exactly what I do. With your left hand, let go of the bag, but with your right hand, retain the corner there. Thank you, like that. Now hold that up so everybody can see it. Thank you. Now, do me a favor. Wiggle your hand like that. The other hand. That's right. Now reach up and grab the egg. It's invisible, but get it. That's not it. Throw it away. I'll have to reach up. There it is right there. I throw it up in the air. It's coming down slowly. Catch it in the bag. Just use the one hand, reach out and catch it. That's right. Whoop. Now show that hand empty. This is where we reach inside. Take out what you find. Isn't that the damnedest thing you ever saw, ladies and gentlemen? And that, my friends, is the story of the egg in the bag. 1, 2, hop, go. Isn't that the damnedest thing you've ever seen? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you indeed.
The mystery of the little black bag and the egg. When I was a young boy, I saw a magician perform this when I was 8 years old. In my grammar school, he came out, he showed the egg, placed it inside the bag thusly, turned the bag inside out, the egg had disappeared. Actually, it hadn't. It was hidden here in his hand. I was off to his far left, and I could see the flash of white as his hand turned. Now, it wasn't a great trick, but you must remember he did not have the sophisticated observing group I have before me tonight. He had a bunch of 7- and 8-year-olds. I forgot about the trick until I was 20 years old working in Athens, Greece on a USO tour, and there I saw a Greek magician perform the trick. He came out and he said, "Karias ke kari kalisperasis," which is Greek for ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. He said, "I would like to perform a feat of taki daktiloria," that's Greek for sleight of hand. To do this, he used two objects, Makri Mavri Sakula, a little black bag, and Tiano Avugoan, one egg. He placed the egg inside the bag, turned the bag inside out, and the egg had disappeared. Actually, he did one thing different than the other fella. He did palm the egg, but as he turned the bag inside out, he would deftly place the egg up under the front of his vest. When you do the trick like this, you must stand extremely still. Of course, he was 97 years old. That's all he could do was stand extremely still. When he was ready to retrieve the egg, he would turn the bag right side out, shake it violently, at the same time inch the egg out from underneath his vest, come over the bag, allow the egg to fall in it, and then as an afterthought, actually in order to show his hand empty, he would reach in his pocket, say magico pundra, which is Greek for woofle dust, magic powder. Then he would say something very strange, voila. He was Greek, that's French, very strange. He would reach in and then reproduce the egg. Both of these magicians cheated. I do also, but only a little bit, so you must watch very, very carefully. Now, to prove that what you're seeing at home is the very same thing that I'm doing here on the stage, I'd like to get a committee of two to come up. Would you, my dear, please come forward, and you, young lady? And what is your name? Diane. Diane. May I call you Diane? Yes, please. How are you? And your name? Gina. And Gina, my name is John Thompson. Now, I put the egg aside for a moment so we can examine the bag, because the very first thing that runs through your mind when you see this is that it might be some kind of a special bag. But do you sew it all?
A little.
A little. Do you sew it all? Some, all right. Some sounds more than a little. Can you verify that's called French seaming? There are no slits or trapdoors or hidden pockets in the material. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. And it's very finely seamed. Would you reach inside, because that's where all the magic happens. Pull it inside out. Pull it inside out completely. Now, I'd like you to examine the inside. You see, it's exactly like the outside. There are no openings, no trapdoors. It's also French seamed. Would you check that? Make sure it doesn't come apart at the seams. There are no holes, trapdoors, hidden pockets, no place I could hide anything on the inside. Let's check the outside once again before we start. By the way, let's also check the egg. I should say egg-shell, because the contents have been removed through that tiny hole to protect the innocent, your garments. Would you look at the egg? That is a real egg or egg-shell. There is the outside of the bag. Would you please examine it? There are no holes, trapdoors. In fact, it looks a great deal like the inside at this point. Now, you've seen the inside. You've seen the outside, the centers, and the seams. You've seen the egg. Watch closely. Is there any doubt in your mind that the egg just fell inside that bag? None whatsoever. Can you see the snow white egg in the black interior of the bag? You can. Gina, can you feel the egg resting on the palm of my hand? You can. Would you hold your name once again? Diane. You didn't forget. Good, Diane. Hold your hand palm upward. Just as the shifting sands of the Sahara Desert vanish into the night's trade wind, so doth the egg disappear from my fingertips. Damn pretty stuff. Not the trick, I mean the words. Some people actually think I hide it here within the folds of the bag. I assure you I do not, but let's check it nonetheless. Would you reach inside? Can you feel the egg inside the bag? You can't. There's no egg there. Can you see the snow white egg in the black interior of the bag? You cannot. Would you reach inside? Can you feel the egg inside? No. Would you pull the bag inside out? Please pull it totally inside out. I'll tease and tantalize the corners. I don't know what that means, but all the magicians say that. There are no trapdoors, no hidden pockets on the inside. Let's check the outside. Perhaps it's up the magician's proverbial sleeve. Take your right hand, hold on to my left wrist from above. Would you do the same with your left hand? Don't let go, but allow me freedom of movement. Now, ladies, we spread out and make it look like a big act. That's wonderful. This next move is 27 years professional show business experience. It shows the bag empty and my hands empty at the same time. Watch carefully. I have to tell you, after 27 years, the bag tastes like hell. Don't let go of my wrist, but with the other hand, would you reach inside? Can you feel the egg inside the bag? You cannot. There's no egg there. No. Can you see the snow white egg in the black interior of the bag? Would you reach inside? Can you feel the egg inside the bag? No. Can you see the snow white egg in the black interior of the bag? No. Is there anything in my hand? Watch. Voila. It was good enough for the Greek. It's good enough for me. That is not the end of the act, as you can tell by the lack of spontaneous applause, friends. But it gets better. In fact, at the ending, they go mad sometimes. They throw money. The coins hurt, but pick them up will split. You may let go of my wrist at this point. Would you hold on to the egg? because I'm going to ask you to hold on to the bag. You'll notice I've been holding it with the first 2 fingers of each hand. Would you do that? Hold up the first 2 fingers of each hand, put them inside, Diane, put the thumbs on the back. You are now holding the bag in the conjurer's position. I don't know if you've ever tried the conjurer's position. Well, it's a first then. I'm going to balance the egg or perch it atop the bag, ask you to turn a little bit towards camera like this so we get a very pretty picture. Now you're going to step over here and look over my shoulder. I'll get down to your level, you see. This is so that you can guarantee them out there that what they're seeing from the front is the same over my shoulder. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to walk over, grasp that egg, throw it in the air, and it will disappear, and you won't see it happen. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Walk this way. Okay. 1, 2, 3. It's absolutely gone. Now, a lot of people, you may let go. A lot of people think it's hidden somewhere within the folds of the bag, but I assure you, there are no trapdoors, no hidden pockets on the inside. Let's check the outside. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's in there anyway. Would you reach and can you feel that egg inside? There's no egg in there. Can you see the snow white egg? No. Would you reach inside? Can you feel the egg inside the bag? Nothing. Would you hold on to the bag yourself once again? I'm going to stand over here. While I'm standing here, would you look inside that bag? Can you see the snow white egg in the black interior of the bag? You cannot. There's no egg there. You have felt in the bag. You've looked in the bag. I have not come any closer. I will not either. And I know what you're thinking. I can see it on your face. You're saying, if he's such a good magician, make it appear in the bag while I'm holding it. Well, I'll do it. Hold on tightly with your right hand. Let go with your left hand and wave your left hand in the air towards the camera so they can see there's nothing in it. Watch closely. Here it comes. Slowly reach into that bag and take out what you find. Be careful. It's a real egg. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Diane. Fantastic. Hal, it was perfect. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
If you enjoyed the performances of today's magicians, don't forget their individual videos are also available from Stephen's Magic Emporium.